Well, y'all, I can't figure out the waiting screen. I tried to do it and it didn't work. That's fine. My screen, that's okay. It's all fine, right? All we do is just figure things out. The best we can do. The best we can do. Let's see. Anything else? Okay. I think that's it. We have so many things going on tonight. It's going to be crazy. Just FYI, it's going to be crazy. So for all of you that are already here, there's 28 of you thus far, I believe. There we go. 25. So if I'm sitting on here and if you've been to a gathering, you get to listen to the speech every single time you get on, which I know is thrilling for you all. Absolutely thrilling. As our people come in and everyone thinks, uh-oh, I'm gonna have to mute my Slack, which is where all of the executive staff, they get on here and talk, but my computer likes to make this sound every single time. So I'm gonna have to make it be quiet. Edit. Nope. We're gonna make you go night night. Set myself as away. There we go. Winning. Okay. So, oh, nope, that didn't do it. Miranda says I got this, but oh, she's probably talking to our other person that's coming on tonight. It's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be fantastic. So back to what I was saying. If you're on here earlier and you're wondering why Julie's on here, number one, welcome. Number two, yes, our gathering officially starts at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all the things, right? All the time zones going backwards. Typically I get on here 5 minutes beforehand and I give everyone a I give away, there we go. I have a giveaway for all of the VIPs who attended last month's gathering. So last month's gathering, we had Amelia DeField on and she did such an awesome job. She did 4 steps to cultivate your home business. I was super impressed with her. It gave me lots of ideas and I actually signed up. So I'm really excited where that's going. It's gonna be tons of fun, all the good things. But because of that, she was doing a little promotion thing for all of our members, which is fantastic. I love that. But to participate in it, you had to, what am I trying to say? You had to get signed up by January 31st. So I had to do our giveaway for that month with her on a different time so everyone could get signed up with enough time. So I don't have a giveaway this month. That's just how life rolls, right? So if you are just now getting here, go ahead and drop in the chat where you're from. Let's see where we've got. I will trust me, I promise I will repeat all of this by the time we've got Ohio, Idaho, Tennessee. Wow, we're from all over. North Carolina, more Idaho. Keep getting new messages. Loving this. Washington. Okay. I don't know, Bonnie, I think I tell you this every time that my sister is, she moved to Seattle last June. And I'm like, one of these days I'm gonna get up there. Claire Moore, who's that? Oh, Charlene, that's my education coordinator. Hi, Charlene. Someone else is from, oh, I see a Pryor, which is here in Oklahoma. Hi, Tina. I'm in Inola, so I'm super close to you. More Illinois, yay. Oh, hi from Northeast Washington. There's so many Washingtons. This is so fun. Georgia, awesome. I've never been to Georgia. And last weekend, like Thursday to Sunday, so this week, most of last week, I was in Athens, Georgia for the executive planning hoopla that all of your awesome staff members participate in every year to get National Ladies Homestead Gathering a clear layout for the year. So I finally made it to Georgia for the first time. So let's see, I would love to see. Oh, yes, okay, good. I will keep that in mind. Who is that, Bonnie? Yes. All right, I'm gonna make sure. Let's see, anyone else? More Idaho, Indiana, woohoo! Pennsylvania, sweet. I'm loving all this. Okay, so like I said, if you're just now getting on, because I see the numbers keep going up, I started this with like 26 and we're at 53. So if you're on and you're wondering, you have not missed anything, I promise. And if you've never heard this, I repeat myself over and over and over. So I'm at 7 o'clock. I know that's not the same time for everyone, but on the hour is what I'm going to say. On the hour, we will go ahead and get this ball rolling. And we'll talk about all the things. Ooh, more. I have 11 new messages. So go ahead and drop in the chat where you're from. That's what everyone's doing. Teresa's from New Mexico. I got to meet Teresa. She's on the executive staff. I got to meet her this weekend. so many things. Bonners Ferry, Idaho. You guys have such fun names. Covington, Georgia. I'm loving this. 55 people. Hi from Muskogee. Hi, girl. I pay attention to all the things today. So, oh my goodness. Oh, we're on the hour. So yay. This is so exciting. Okay. Like I said, we're just now starting. So everyone's gotten to listen to me ramble on for 6 minutes. I'm Julie Bowen. I'm so glad that you guys are here tonight. I am the media director here for National Ladies Homestead Gathering. This is something I super enjoy doing. I like doing our virtual gatherings. They started because of COVID, but we are continuing them because they're tons of fun and I really, really, really enjoy them. So I hope you guys too. We have a great speaker tonight. I got to listen to her on Monday. We did a little practice run. So I feel like I'm ahead of the curve, which doesn't always happen. We all know that, right? We all know that. So go ahead and keep dropping in the chat where you're from. I love that. Make sure that you connect with people in your area. I think that's so fun. We get on here and I see like I'm in Oklahoma. So I see all these places that I'm from. I'm like, oh, I don't think I've met them. I should go to one of their gatherings or I should invite them to my gathering. So make sure you look in the chat, find some people that are near you. It's tons of fun to connect with them. Just because we're virtual doesn't mean we can't connect, right? That's how it is. Okay. If you have never been to a gathering before, number one, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are going to be talking with Karen Morris on planning. It's planning your homestead, but there's so much more than that. Like it's planning your life, really is what I should have called it, but that would be overwhelming for your friend here. So, Virginia, I don't think I've seen that one. I should not have the chat popped up next to my eyes keep going over here. Anyway, typically what we do is this is a webinar format. So you'll be able to see me, you'll be able to see our presenter and all the fun things that she's sharing and all that good stuff. However, we used to do breakout rooms and I'm not saying that they're never coming back, but for tonight's gathering, we're going to do a little experiment and we're going to extend our question and answer section of our presentation. A lot of times I feel like I'm rushing our presenter to get through their information and then I'm rushing you guys to get your information done. So hi June, we can all see you. I love June. So I wanted to give our presenters a little bit more time and I wanted you guys to have a little bit more time to ask questions. And I see that some people are sad about their breakout rooms. So I really enjoy the breakout rooms. I think they're tons of fun. Our issue is coming from, we have right now we have 73 participants, right? And that's awesome. I love it. But we're not all moving over. So my average attendance in breakout rooms is only 12 people. And I love those 12 people. They're super important to me. But we're trying to find the best way for women to connect. So a lot of it's a timing issue. A lot of it's a time in general issue. You know, some people were getting done at bedtime. Some people were getting done at dinner time. Some people were getting off work. It all depends because we're all across the United States, which is lovely, but it's hard to make everything work. So tonight we're going to try and just do an extended question and answer section, and that will be awesome. And if it works, fantastic. And if you don't like it, let me know. Go ahead and email me at media.nlhg.org and we can have the discussion. I'd love for you to be a moderator and bring those breakout rooms back. But for tonight, we're going to go ahead and just try and see how it goes for just doing an extra thing. Thank you, Jesse. Jesse dropped my email. You hit me up. Let me know what you think of breakout rooms. Let me know if that's not your thing, you want to. Oh, Christine did it. See, look at this. This is so fun. I have some more exciting news. Tonight is full of changes and excitement and all kinds of things. It's going to be great. So, all right. Our speaker tonight is Karen Morris. And Karen is going to be talking to us about planning on your homestead. And my favorite, I make all of the presenters give a little background speech. And this is my favorite. She had lots of good information, but I want you to hear this. Karen is an author, a speaker, a blogger, a wife, a homeschooling mom, a prepper, a Trekkie, and an aspiring gardener. And she'll talk to you more about that when she gets in her presentation, who helps her with her aspiring gardening goals. It's going to be awesome. She also has a handout for all of you to download. So my behind the scenes magicians, which are going to be Jesse and Christine tonight, they're going to get that link dropped for you. Let us know if that link works. Jesse and I've played with it, but make sure you get that link because it's going to be it's going to be important for tonight. I also have it listed on our private online community, which is community.nlhg.org, which I'm sure Jesse will drop in the chat. But for now, there is the link to that handout. So while I'm sitting here talking and we're going through all kinds of things, because I've got some excitement coming up, it's going to be great. Get that handout downloaded and we will get going. Okay. So I keep throwing this name Jessie out, and if you guys have been around here before, you all know that Jessie is my behind the scenes magician. She drops these links, she keeps me organized, she does a much better waiting screen than I do, because obviously I botched that tonight. But I am really excited about what I have to share with you about Miss Jessie tonight. So Jessie, would you like to come on for just a moment? I'm going to have Cindy come up as she can be a silent partner. So Jessie has been behind the scenes heartbeat of the media team forever. She makes all my breakout rooms. She organizes all the speaker information. She creates graphics, and she just does such a phenomenal job. But Jessie's also expecting her first bundle of joy, and I'm so excited. It's a boy, because I have 3 boys, and I'm so excited for her. But we know, all of us moms in here and anyone who's gone through a big life change, when a big life change comes, there's other things that have to change too in our lives. So for now, Jessie's going to step down for a little bit, take a break, focus on being a mom, which is so exciting. And I'm very, very much going to miss her. I'm excited for her to embark on this new journey. It's going to be such a wonderful time. And I know Cindy has something she wants to share about this wonderful time as well.
I do. And I also want you to know this media team that is here and doing the virtual gatherings was a dream. And Jessie was one of those first people that helped make this dream a reality. So she's been on the media team since the very, very beginning. So Jessie, we are going to miss you tremendously. You're quite talented. But we're super, super excited about your new baby boy. And I'm super excited because my daughter is due with a boy. And you guys are due about the same time. So super excited. But what I wanted to show you is, so we got Jessie a gift from all of us here. And this is, I don't know if you all can see. Can you see that? Okay. They are the cutest diaper covers ever. Jessie picked them out and I just got them off her registry. But I did cloth diapers and mine were not cute like this. Not at all. Mine were super, super ugly. And so these are adorable. And then we got her, I just know they were bamboo something, but they go with diapers. So, but anyways, congratulations to you, Jessie. We're so excited for you. And thank you for your years of service and giving back to all these ladies in this community. You are greatly loved. Mwah.
Thank you, guys. I can't say how much I appreciate it because LHG has really changed my life, especially when I got into leadership and starting my journey with you guys. I'm gonna blame it on my hormones right now, being all emotional, but I'm really sad to see this chapter close, but I'm super excited to open the next chapter and journey down the road of being a mom. So thank you guys so much.
So excited for you. We're so excited. So Jessie, you're amazing. And it's not taking her place, but stepping into your role is going to be Miss Christine Slater. And I did not tell Christine that she had to come on tonight, so she may not be in a place that she wants to hop on and say hi, but she is behind the scenes. Christine, if you want to come on, fantastic. There she is. Christine. So Christine is going to be my new member of my media team. So I'm super excited for her. She's already learning the ropes, and I haven't scared her off yet. So that's a bonus. That's a bonus. All right, Christine, thank you so much. Okay, so you hear me talking about changing positions, doing all this stuff. I want you all to know that you get to do all kinds of things on the back end of National Ladies Homestead Gathering, right? Like when I joined, I was like, oh my gosh, these gatherings are so much fun. And I get to go to participate in all of these things. And I had no idea what went in on the back half of it until I started participating in other things, right? Like I went to my gatherings for a little while, and then I joined the board and I did community outreach, and then I did that for a little while, and then I became a president of one chapter, and that was really fun. And then I was asked to make a new chapter in an area that really wanted one but was struggling to find leadership, so I did that. And the more and more that you participate in LHG, the more you get out of it. And I want that for everyone. And I know not everyone wants to get up here and do virtual gatherings. Trust me, I know that. That's totally fine. But if you are interested in doing anything, like we have anything from website design or maintenance or help to someone on Instagram that needs to follow hashtags and comment on something. Or if you really like marketing and you want to work on logos, that's awesome. If you really are into events, do that. If membership is your heart and soul, we have that. You like fundraising, we have that. There's so many options. You don't have to be up here and talk to people. I promise. No one in the world fits the same mold, right? We all like different things. So if you're interested in any of that, please let me know. I'm going to take the point of this. This is going off key. So all of my friends that are watching on the executive staff are like, Julie, shush. Go ahead and email me at media@nlhg.org if you want any type of interest in this. I am serious. There was a job this weekend that we discussed at the executive staff meeting that you get on our Instagram account as National Ladies Homestead Gathering. You find the 10 most popular hashtags and you go to those hashtags and you comment something fun. Like could be a puppy wearing a hat with little socks or something. And you say, oh my gosh, that's adorable. Like people are really good at Instagram. And people are really good at Facebook, and people are really good at our private online community. So if there's anything that interests you, and we have some awesome events coming up too. I'm bouncing all over because I'm so excited. So anything that you guys want to participate in, we have awesome events. We have a new fundraiser coming up that I don't think's been announced yet, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut, but it's going to be awesome. And you guys are going to be very excited. So just know that there is something for everyone out here as part of National Ladies Homestead Gathering. And speaking of all the things, Cindy, what is the purpose and the mission of this place that I have fallen in love with?
You are so cute. The energy is still going on after this last weekend. But yes, the purpose, the reason that the National Ladies Homestead Gathering exists is to empower women through homesteading. And we believe firmly in this. After 12 years of being involved with the National Ladies Homestead Gathering, I have seen phenomenal growth in women. And a lot of times I like to refer to it as the diamond in the rough. And I get to watch them just become these beautiful gems after being involved with homesteading. And so, yes, it is empowering women through homesteading, the homesteading lifestyle. And how does that happen in NLHG? It is by sharing knowledge, building community, and growing friendships. And those are our three pillars that everything is based on. At the executive team gathering this last weekend, that is something that I drill. Whatever we are doing, it has to fall into one of those three categories. And so you will see that we're just constantly building and supporting and strengthening that foundation, because we want this to be the best organization ever for women, especially women who homestead. So there you go, empowering women through homesteading and sharing knowledge, building community, and growing friendship.
It's my favorite. All the things, they're all my favorite. There's just, you really can't get any better than that. You really can't. And I dare you to argue with me. I've already given you my email. Go ahead and argue with me. I'm not a good arguer. I totally admit that. But thank you so much, Cindy. It really is such a fun place to be a part of. So I see people saying, "Ooh, that sounds fun." There's lots of things to be a part of this organization. And it's important for you to know that every little part, like this weekend when we went to the planning thing, after listening to all of the stuff that everyone did, my initial thought was, wow, I don't do enough. No, that's not true. I do plenty, and I do it in such a fun, exciting way that fits my lifestyle, and it supports our ultimate goal and our ultimate mission. That is the most important thing. You don't need to run this organization or do 400 jobs. Every piece is so important. So make sure you check that out. Email me at media.nlhd.org. I am here for you. media@nlhd.org. Jesse will put it in there. Christine will put it in there. Someone will put it in there for you. Now, I keep changing things tonight, right? Like we're only doing the webinar. There's no breakout rooms. And then my sweet Jesse is stepping down for a while. I'm on a roll for changes. There's 2. Guess what? Here's number 3, and I'm not done. Atta girls are one of my favorite parts of this, and I know they're a favorite part for all of you. In our private online community, which is community.nlhd.org, our ladies share their accomplishments with each other and with our whole organization, and I love it. I'm always amazed at what you guys do. Like, it is crazy what we do on our homesteads, but just in life in general. So typically, Miranda has been the one that has been doing that. And she did a phenomenal job. Well, Miranda has been doing them, and Miranda is going to now do all of our events. And our membership director, the fabulous June, is going to come on, and she's going to be sharing this. So June, I already told her I was going to do this, so I have to do it. June is the Wonder Woman behind the scenes of our amazing members, and I'm so excited she's here to come on and share these. She did not want me to call her Wonder Woman, but it happened. It happened because she is. Her heart and soul is in membership, and I'm so excited for her to share what you guys are doing. June, what have these ladies been up to?
Thank you, Julie. The Atta Girls are one of my favorite parts of our gatherings. We get to celebrate all of the things you've done, and some of these I've gathered from the post in our private online community. We're celebrating things you've done new, big, small, good or bad, all wonderful things to celebrate within Atta Girls. So I'm going to read some of them. And our first one is Kim. She scrubbed her tile floor in her foyer on her hands and knees with her homemade cleaning soap. And she made some major cleaning happen there. She also did some cooking and tried some new recipes, and her family enjoyed those. Also, one of her Scottish Highland, it looks like became a daddy for the second time in their neighborhood there. And last but not least, she kept her kids alive. One of them being a rambunctious teenage boy, it looks like. Atta girl, Kim. It's always good when you keep the kids alive. All right, Diana, you finally canned with your pressure canner. First, you made your first ever bone broth and canned it. And you've canned carrots, a few with glaze and a handful with just water. You also made homemade beef jerky and sugar cookies using a duck egg. Atta girl, Diana. Maria posted her husband got her a freeze dryer for Christmas, and she's been testing it out on everything and rehydrating stuff afterwards to see what's going to work for her family. She also is trying a new gardening method and reading and researching about square foot gardening. And it looks like you've got quite a plan in place for that. So atta girl, Maria. Wendy shared with us she made her first batch of dog kibble. Her dogs are quite spoiled and fed high-end dog food. And she did this as a cost-saving measure. And it looks like she shared the recipe here in our community as well. So make sure you go and check that out on the Atta Girl post. Atta Girl, Wendy. All right. Amy, Atta Girl for learning how to dispatch a chicken and you weren't grossed out. You will order meat chickens later in the spring. You bought a chicken coop and a brooder and have the brooder set up in your garage and ready and waiting for your chicks. A legal survey was done on your property lines. And so you found out more information for your fencing. and you're mapping out fence lines for rotational grazing. Turned in water samples for pond and soil samples for pasture. Atta girl, Amy. Okay, so many good atta girls here. Kimberly, put up all of your crosses to make your cross wall and your family tree of pictures on another wall. You're officially unpacked in your new home, and now it's time to focus on the garden and getting some new Tennessee chickens. Atta girl, Kimberly. Christine is in the middle of her first ferment, made Dutch oven bread and didn't use the bread maker, and also ordered some embroidery projects for our first Fiber Arts meetup coming soon. Atta girl, Christine. Shannon changed a light bulb in her headlights. Newer cars have so many electronics tied to everything. She had been reluctant to tackle those repairs on her own. This one, she said, was easy, and her hands fit into the small space needed to get it done, and she saved money in the process. Atta girl, Shannon. Beth winter sewed about 35 jugs with more to go and got in my shelf and heat mats to start seeds indoors. And Beth is planning out her garden in a spreadsheet and is feeling ready for spring. Atta girl, Beth. Marnie waited for her tech-savvy kids to help her get her website and logo done, but she finally got on Wix and started doing it herself. Farm logo done, website in progress. Atta girl, Marnie. Tara taught herself to crochet at the beginning of January, and she started with Granny Square coasters, then moved on to washcloths, and now is making cute plant snuggies. And she put a picture. You guys have been so busy. The list continues, but that's just an example of all the Atta girls that were shared. Atta girl, ladies. Thank you, Julie.
Amazing, June. You guys have been busy. It's supposed to be like calm down season, and you guys are not calm. You are on it. On it. So if you are wondering where June pulled all of these from, if you've never been here before, again, welcome. We're sharing all kinds of things, but this is where June pulled all of those from. I want to hear from all of you because that was phenomenal. But make sure you check out our community. It's a private online community. We get to talk about all kinds of things. If you heard someone talk about butchering, you're not going to do that on another social media app. You're going to get in trouble, but not with us. So that's on community.nlhg.org. One of my magicians is going to put that in the chat. If you've never been there, make sure you check it out. It is awesome. I really enjoy it. Now, again, so many more exciting things. You know what else you're going to find out when you go onto that community is that we have another book club. So these book clubs have been awesome. I participated in the Food Storage Made Easy like way last year, and it like kicked off this whole new phenomenon of online book clubs, and it's so much fun. So we have a new one coming up, and it is going to be led by our events director, the fabulous Miranda Johnson. It is going to go, okay, I'm going to give you lots of dates, but I know that Jesse or Christine will throw it in the chat. So if you don't stay with me, it's fine. I talk fast. It's a brain, mind, mouth connection issue. So starting February 16th, every Thursday evening for 6 weeks, we're going to discover the delights of becoming part of your own food story. This book club is going to be great for new homesteaders and established homesteaders alike. That doesn't make any sense. Alike. The book is an easy read, and it should do some great discussions. So what is this book that I'm talking about? What is it? It's The Rooted Life by Justin Rhodes. So these will all be on Zoom. It's going to be in the evenings. So it's 8:15 East, 7:15 Central. Let's keep doing math. 6:15 Mountain and 5:15 Pacific. Ha ha, yay for Julie. She did the math, and I always forget Mountain, which is so rude. I love the Mountain time zone. It's just so rude. Now, this is limited, so get on that link. Make sure you check it out. For VIP members, the cost of the book club is free. The book's not included, but the cost of the book club is free. If you're not a VIP member, the registration is $40. And I'm going to say that this is my spiel about that. a year-long membership where you get obviously the book club for free, but there's so much more member benefits. Our membership for the whole year is $35. And I have a personal goal, and this is a personal weird person goal. I want at least one person to sign up as a VIP member from each gathering. And that's not because I'm like, here, give me your money. Absolutely not. That's not my goal here. My goal is just to have someone experience all the benefits of the VIP membership. There's so much that goes into that. There's so many things that you benefit from, and it benefits all the other people in our community as well. Like our events that we're going to be doing, because we have a really big one in Ohio in June. We have more coming up in Idaho. There's some in Georgia. There's some in Oklahoma. There's so many big events coming up, and your membership supports all of us in that. And so it's important to me. So check it out. It's you can become a VIP member, but make sure you check out that book club, because that's what I was originally talking about. And then Julie goes on her tangent. It starts for 6 weeks on February 16th. It's going to be in the evenings. The Rooted Life by Justin Rhodes. So check that out. Let me know what you think of it. Let's see. I saw something. I can't keep up with the chat right now, so I apologize. That's just my brain. That's why I have people behind me, because I just blah, 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 blah. Okay, the last thing, and then I'm going to bring Karen on because I'm almost at it. I should be doing it right now. So the last thing I have is that our awesome marketing director, the fabulous Jill Wolf, she's on here as well, has been hard at work, and she's been creating an adorable, it's really cute. I had it pulled up to share on my screen, but I'm running out of time. Our super cute limited edition line for the month of February. And if it's not limited edition, Jill will let me know and I will be corrected, and that's okay with me. We have a $5 off coupon code for the NLHG shop. If you have not been over there, it is all cute things NLHG. It is super cute. I love it. It's really fun. So make sure you check that out as well. Then I'm going to have my magicians drop my code. That way you guys can get your $5 off. Who doesn't want $5 off? Here's the code. Here's the link to the shop. It's really cute. So check it out. Thank you so much, Jill, for designing all the stuff in our shop. It is well worth it. We all want some swag, but who doesn't want cute swag? So make sure you check that out. Okay. Who's sick of hearing me talk? Yeah. Okay, fine. I respect them. The maiden of the hour, the amazing Karen Morris. She is one heck of a woman, y'all. She's helped so many people organize their garden, their homestead, with the preparedness planner, because that thing is phenomenal. She's really passionate about it, I can tell you. She's super passionate about using her time effectively, helping people, and that is what she is here to do for us tonight. So, the amazing Karen Morris, everyone. Yay! Thank you so much, Karen.
Hey, everybody. I'm glad to be here. It's great to see you all. I am going to do a screen share, and we're going to do a little bit of bouncing back and forth between all of this.
Oh, Karen, I did forget to tell them that ask your questions all you want in the Q&A, but we'll answer all of them at the end. I forgot to pop in there and say that. So ask all the questions you want throughout the thing, but we'll answer all of them at the end. Now I'll disappear.
Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and put on the screen share. Do that. Oh, it says that I have disabled participants, or that the host has disabled participant screen sharing. So if somebody could help me.
I fixed it.
Say that again?
I think I fixed it.
Okay, let's try that again. All right. We are good. Let me move this over here and we will present. All right, yay. We are good to go, everybody. I am so excited to be with you tonight. Before I begin to tell you a little bit about myself, I would like to ask you all a question. Tell me where you currently live. Are you urban, suburban, or rural? And I will get back to those in just a moment. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I am Karen Morris. I am an author, a speaker, a blogger, and a YouTuber. I am a Christian. I'm a wife of 26 years to my husband. You will see that handsome man down here in this picture. That is my husband. I am a homeschooling mom of 5. Even though there are only 4 in that picture, I do have a fifth son who is, move this down. Okay, I have a fifth son who is in college right now. I am a prepper. I have been for about 15 to 20 years, so been doing that quite a long time. I am an aspiring gardener, and the reason I say that is because I have a brown thumb. I am a great planner, but I have a brown thumb. My oldest daughter, who is 20 years old, she did most of our garden last year. All of us helped, but she planted it, she tended it, she did a lot of the harvesting. She was absolutely amazing. I want to be like her when I grow up, as far as the amazing things that she has done in our garden. I'm also a future chicken mom. That is in our plans for this year, and I'm really excited about that. You'll hear a little bit more about that later. And I'm a reluctant kitchen engineer. I can cook almost every single thing you can imagine. I have cooked almost everything from scratch. I hate to cook. So I don't understand how that works, but that's just the way things have happened for me. And also, as Julie said, I am a Trekkie. That's just a little tidbit. All right, so I'm going to take a look at your answers here, assuming I can figure this out again. And I want to see where you all are from. So chat, there we go. All right, so where are you all from? Oh, lots and lots of rural, small city and rural, suburban. Okay, rural, 20 acres. That's awesome. Very rural. Oh, that's awesome. Lots of rural, lots of suburban. I don't see any urban. You can still homestead in urban areas, but tons. Okay, lots of suburban, lots of rural. That's awesome. All right. Now, while I continue on, tell me in the chat, do you either feel like you have enough time to get everything done on your homestead, or do you feel like you struggle to fit everything in? Because so many of us have such busy lives. I know a lot of us have work, a lot of us have kids, we've got the homesteads, we've got other things that we're doing as well. So tell me, do you feel like you have enough time to get everything done you want to, or do you really feel like there's so much that you want to fit in that you just can't do it? A little bit about me down here. I have written I have three things out there so far. I have A Year Without the Grocery Store. I have A Year Without the Grocery Store's companion workbook. I have the Prepper Planner. And then coming soon, I have Preparedness Without Limits and Are You Prepared on the Go, Mama? So that's where, those are my things that I have. The Preparedness Without Limits is really cool because it's how to advance your prepping regardless of money, time, space, energy, and experience constraints. And the estimated launch date for that, found out today, is probably going to be about April 11th. So if you're interested in that, keep your eyes and ears out. You can go to my website, which is areyoupreparedmama.com, and you can sign up for my newsletter, and all of those announcements will be in my newsletter as that comes out. And then probably about 2 months after that, we will have Are You Prepared When You're Not at Home, Mama? All right, so let's move on. Let me move this. All right. Oh, come on. There we go. Oh, how in the world I ended up at the end, we will never know. But there we go. All right. My goals for our discussion tonight. I want you to feel like you're sitting across the table from a friend, that we're discussing your up and coming homestead year and how you're going to get everything done. I know when I'm sitting across the table from a friend, oftentimes I have something to drink. Tonight, it is my trusty water bottle. I hope you have some coffee or something else good going, so that you can enjoy our time together. I also tonight want to present you with step-by-step instructions to help you plan your homestead year in a way that you comfortably fit your homesteading activities into your already busy schedule, because we know how busy our schedules are. All right. So let's talk about planning and time. Planning your homestead year and weekly time management are opposite sides of the same coin. So don't tune me out because you think you already know how to plan a week. Because tonight we're going to talk about so much more than planning a week. We're going to discuss your projects, your annual, your seasonal, your monthly, and your weekly homesteading goals, because making the best use of time and planning each week are going to fit everything in. You can't get the most out of your time unless you plan. But planning your year will invariably involve discussing how you use your time. So tonight, I'm going to help you create your own plan for your specific homestead year using a weekly schedule as the basis for that plan. So using your week as the basis, you will figure out how you can set up your goals, set forth your goals in such a way that you will know what to do, when to do it, and how to fit it all in. I don't know if you've ever heard the professor's jar presentation. So there's this professor, and she's standing in front of her college class, and she holds up a jar. And she said, do you see this jar? This jar represents your school year. Well, in our case, it represents our homestead year. And she places about 7 or 8 decent-sized rocks in that jar. Now, these rocks, she says, are your non-negotiable items, your classes, work, and sleep. But she gets to the point where she can't fit any more rocks in the jar. So she looks at her class and says, is the jar full? And everybody says, yes. Well, from under her podium, she pulls out a container with medium-sized pebbles in it. These pebbles, she says, are things that you need to do most of the time, like homework and study. They are important, but not quite as important as the big rocks. So she goes ahead and she pours them in, she taps the jar down, she shakes it up a little bit, then it gets to the point where she can't fit any more of those medium-sized pebbles in the jar. And she looks at her class and says, is the jar full? And most of the people say yes, though there are a couple people who say no. So she sets the pebbles aside. And out from underneath her podium, she pulls out a jar or a container of pea gravel. And there starts to be some snickers in the back of the classroom. So she takes that and she says, this pea gravel represents fun but occasional required activities, college events, sports you play, groups that you join. And so she takes and she puts the pea gravel, pours it in, moves it around, taps it on her hand, gets as much in there as she can. And she looks at her class and says, is the jar full? Well, this time there are more people who say no, but still the majority of the class says yes. So what she does is she sets that aside and she pulls out a container of sand. Now, more laughter in the background, and she says this sand represents occasional but really fun activities like going on dates, attending concerts, watching your college's basketball game. There will still be time for these things, but you have to fit the big things in first. So she pours the sand in, jiggles the jar, taps it up and down, and she looks at her class and says, is the jar full? And this time, almost the entire class says, no, fill it fuller. And so she takes out from underneath her podium, she gets a pitcher of water. And she says, this water represents good but frivolous things that you might want to do from time to time. Playing games with friends, going to the movies, listening to a fun audiobook. And she pours the water into that jar. And she says, now, the jar is full. But if she had tried to do that the opposite way, if she had started with the water and put in the sand and then put in the pea gravel and put in the pebbles, she never would have gotten those big rocks in. So for our homesteading jar, our big rocks, our work, family, if you're a religious person, God would fit in here, and sleep. The medium rocks, caring for livestock or other pets, other necessary homestead chores, big homestead projects, doctor's appointments, things like that. Your pea gravel, you're going to be things like volunteering, learning, you taking deliberate time to learn things, deliberate rest outside of your nightly sleep. Your fine sand is going to be fun things like dates with your spouse or your significant other or someone else, game night with family, and then your water, things like moving or movies, not moving. Moving is important. Movies, TV shows, games, and fun reading. So all of those things are in our homestead jar, and we're going to fit all of those in tonight. All right, so our week is the basis for a successful year on the homestead. You should start. What we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through this step by step. We're going to start with a list of your homestead chores. We're going to divide that list up into weekly, monthly, seasonal, and annual chores. We're going to set up a generic week schedule, and we're going to identify unused blocks of time, and we're going to fill in the empty blocks of time with a category. Now, I can hear some of you saying, Karen, if I need to plan for weekly chores, monthly homesteading items, seasonal swap outs, annual chores and projects, why are we working with a weekly schedule? Because we're going to fit a sliver of each of those things within our weekly schedules. But don't panic. It is simpler, easier, and not nearly as overwhelming as it sounds. So hang in there with me. We are going to start by brainstorming a list of our regular weekly, monthly, seasonal, and annual things. So as I worked on this for you, first of all, you guys have the link to the really pretty handouts. These are in the same style as the prepper planner. Matter of fact, the schedule looks almost 100% identical to what I have in the prepper planner. So this is the brainstorm that I did. I ended up printing out 2 sheets because I couldn't fit it all on one, but this is my brainstorm. You're going to brainstorm a list of your regular chores. Now, caveat here, these are not your kids' chores. Okay, these are not the things that you delegate to your children. These are not the things your husband does or your significant other. These are your chores. What do you do on a weekly, monthly, seasonal, and annual basis? Also, these are not events. So like earlier, I was talking with Jessie and she was saying that she goes to the chiropractor regularly. That is an event. Even if you do it weekly, it's still an event. It's not a chore. So that does not go on your list. The things that go on your list are chores. Like, for example, I have things on here like prune trees, plant the garden, order seeds, clean the shower, clean out the car, change sheets, Walmart run, set monthly goals, monthly Goodwill run, seasonal swap out, things like that. That's what made it onto my list. These are things that I have to do. Some other examples might be things like laundry, once a month cooking, if you do something like that, garden cleaning, cleaning out the barn. But examples of events, these are things we don't want to put on, are things like attending or leading meetings, regular get-togethers with family or friends, church, things like that. So don't put those on there, just your things, your goals and your chores that you are going to be wanting to work on. This list is going to grow and change, and that is okay. All of us have different seasons of life. It was really cool talking with Jessie because she's at the beginning of her parenting. I wouldn't say I'm at the tail end of my parenting, but I am further that direction than the beginning. I have 20-year-old twins. Those are my 2 oldest, and my youngest is 11 years old. So I have made it through the sleep deprived years. I have made it through the diaper changing years. I have made it through the throwing up in the middle of the night and cleaning up everything years. For the most part, those things are behind me. But when I was there, I would have gotten a whole lot less done than I get done now. And that is okay. I want you guys to realize that is okay. Take where you are in your season of life and run with it. When I was younger and I had a lot of little kids, I did so much learning that has helped me so much now. It was amazing the things that I learned when I had so many littles. Now I'm doing so much more, and I still learn, but that learning intensive time, I don't have that anymore. So take the season of life that you're in and make sure you make the most of it. Then also, long-term projects. Each year, we take on 1 to 2 really big projects. Last year was our garden. So last year we mapped our garden, and we mapped it out at 120 by 30 feet. So it's a decent sized garden. My husband and my oldest son tilled it. We fenced it. We put in trellises. We put in walkways. We mulched walkways. We planted. I paid my younger daughter, who is now 17, $100 to go out and set up an irrigation system that I purchased. So she went out there and she did that. So it was irrigated. Literally, I didn't have to do a thing because we had a timer on the irrigation. It was awesome. We all did weeding, we harvested, and then we have been preserving our garden. So that was last year. And if we tried to do all of those things and take on 2 or 3 other really big projects, it would not have worked. This year, our big project is chickens, and I am so excited. We already have a chicken barn, and my oldest daughter and I are taking a trip to Indiana at the end of March, and we have friends who are going to hatch and incubate chickens for us, and we're really excited about going out to get those chickens to spend a weekend with them on their homestead and to bring some of those chickens back. So I'm learning a lot about chickens, but again, that is the big project this year. We're also talking about doing compost, but that's not nearly so big. So choose one or maybe two big projects that you want to work on and that you want to be a part of your schedule. Now, once you have your brainstorm list of regular chores, we're going to divide that chore list into weekly, monthly, seasonal, and or annual chores and projects. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but like here, beside fruit and trees, I have an A. So that means that's an annual thing. I'm going to schedule that in my annuals. I plan the garden is annual. I have clean the chicken barn. Once that's up and running, that will be monthly for me. Weekly planning every week. So that's my weekly. Clean the shower, weekly. Clean out the car, weekly. Grocery shopping, weekly. Set monthly goals, monthly. Reread business articles, monthly. I do those things. So you want to go through. I used A for annual. I used M for monthly. S for seasonal, like swapping out our bug out bag food. That is seasonal. Swapping out our bug out bag clothes. That is seasonal. I use S for seasonal and then W for weekly on here. So one by one, just go down your list and decide is it annual, seasonal, monthly, weekly. And I put annuals and annual chores and projects together because those are going to work together the best. Most things are evidence, but there may be some sneaky ones. For example, if you want to do something twice a month, you can list it under weekly, but when you plan out your individual weeks, you can just schedule those items on the weeks that they need to be done. All right, so next, for the seasonal and annual chores, determine which seasons that those chores fall into. So that's all right, you have, one of the handouts that you have is the time slot that each chore will occupy. So once you have determined annual, monthly, seasonal, etc., you're going to put them into your time slots. So that way, everything is together. So I have all of, there it is, all of my weekly, monthly, seasonal, and annual. I group them together. With your seasonal and annual, you need to go through and determine which season they fall into. So I don't know if you can see this, but here it says to help plant the garden, because my daughter will do most of the planting, it's spring and summer. So I put an SP/S. That tells me SP for spring, S for summer. With my annual, I do the same thing. I've got winter, 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 spring, winter, winter, spring, spring. So I go through and you determine which season those chores are going to fall into. Then, with your weekly chores, what I want you to do is to go through and using 1/4 hour increments, determine how much time you want or need to give to each of those chores. So on my weekly, right here, I have weekly planning. It usually takes me about 2 hours. Okay, so I put a 2 after that. My clean the shower takes me about a half an hour. So I put a half after that. Cleaning out the car is a half. So I put a half, and then studying for a book study, because I lead a book study twice a month, that takes me about an hour and a half. So I added all of that up and I came up with 4.5 hours. So that's what you want to do. After you have separated out your chores, we're going to go through and we're going to assign how much time we think each will take us, and then we add that up. For your weekly and your monthly, works the same way. Now, when we get to those monthly chores, again, add up using 1/4 hour increments to determine how much time you want or need to spend on those chores or goals. The difference is here. Once you add up how much time your monthly chores or goals are going to take you, for me, that was 10.25 hours. But because it's for a month, we are going to divide that by 4. And then I came up with, so I'm going to need, and I rounded, approximately 3 hours a week to get my monthly chores done, because I can break it up over the course of 4 weeks. Now, when we get to our seasonal and our annual chores, Part of it is exactly the same. We're going to go through and we're going to determine how much time we want or need to give to each chore. And in this case, I do it per season. So after help plant the garden, I have a 10, but that means I'm giving it 10 hours in the spring and 10 hours in the summer. I plan on reorganizing my Morton building twice a year because my kids are out there a lot and they move my stuff around, or they'll go out to get something, or they'll put groceries away and they'll put them in a really weird place out there because we keep our non-perishable things in our Morton building because we don't have room in our home and we no longer have a basement, which I really, really miss. But so I plan on doing that twice a year, spring and fall. And each time I'm estimating it's going to take me about 5 hours. So I went through and I did all of that with all of my seasonal and all of my annual chores and my goals. Then you need to add up how much time will be required for each season's chores and goals. So what I did is I said spring, okay, 10 hours. So then I add up 10. This is also a spring, that's 5 hours. So now we're at 15. This is also a spring, that's 1 hour. So now we're at 16. So I went through all of my seasonal, and for spring, it's going to take me about 26 hours for the entire season. But because this is a season, we're going to divide by 13. So for spring, because I'm giving myself a little bit of leeway, I said, okay, I'm going to set forth 2.5 hours a week to do my seasonal chores in the spring. Summer, I worked it out, it's 12 hours. So I'm going to give myself about 1 hour a week to do my seasonal chores. Fall ended up being 16 hours. So I said, okay, about 1.5 hours a week. And then winter was 7. So I go back down to 1 hour a week. So that was my seasonal. And you do the exact same thing with the annual chores. So for me, my spring annual chores are going to be less than 1 hour a week. Summer, I have none because I'm in the garden the entire time when I have the extra time. Fall is going to be about 2 hours a week for me, and winter is going to be about 2.5. That's when I do a lot of my planning. So that takes a lot more time. And then I also throw things like my taxes in there. Yeah, I try to get those done in the winter. Hence, that's my big time consumer. So that's what we want to do for our seasonal and annual chores. Now, projects, I generally list that under my annual, and sometimes what I'll do is I'll just give that, if there's a little bit of extra time, I'll give my annual / projects an extra half an hour or an extra hour in a week if I have the time to give. So from there, we're going to switch gears just slightly, and we are going to talk about setting up a generic weekly schedule. Now, for most of us, every week has the same general flow. If you go to work, your work hours are often standardized, and everything else has to fit around them. Now we're going to think of other activities that will fill out your week. Frequently, these fall into the same time slot every week. Like for me, if you will take a look up here, it says ladies study. So every other week, I have that ladies study, and it always fits into that time slot. Church. So church, it always fits into that time slot. I have a nap built in, ladies. I highly, highly recommend building in rest time because our bodies need it. That falls at the same place each week for me. So that is here on my schedule. You'll also notice names: Jordan, Nathan, Ethan, and Shannon. Those are my kids that are still at home. With Jordan, I take at least 2 hours on Sunday nights, sometimes more. She's 20 years old. This is a time in her life when she has a lot of things that she just needs to bounce off of me. And so we do a lot of talking every single week. And then I spend time with each of my other kids every week. So Nathan gets an hour here, Ethan gets an hour here, and Shannon gets an hour here. That is something that I prioritize. I have a date night with my husband at home every single week. That is in the same time slot every week, so it's here. I take my mom out to Walmart and to dinner and spend time with her every Thursday night. So that is here in my schedule. Saturday night, we have family game night. And then I have an online game that I play for a few hours Saturday night. These are my events in my schedule that pretty much don't change. That's what we're doing. We're setting up a generic weekly schedule. For me, my business time, I spend 5 to 6 hours Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday working on my business. That is where that business time falls for me. But it is the same each week unless something gets thrown into my schedule, which we will talk about in a minute. But for you all, what are your big things that you need to be doing in your week? You'll also notice here that I color coordinate, and it may not show up really well, but business is purple. Ministry, which is here and here, is in dark blue. My personal time is in light blue. So nap and online game, that's in light blue. And then my family, which takes up the vast majority of my time, is green. So I color coordinate because I like to be able to see that my life is balanced. I had some people that were saying I had too much time that I was spending on my business. I could pull out a schedule and say, look at the colors. Purple is business, green is family, blue is ministry, and light blue is for me. You can see that I'm trying to be balanced. So I feel like that color coordinating is really, really helpful. But this is where you're going to start. These are your non-negotiables each week, not just work, but all of your regular activities. Then, once we've done that, we're going to identify the unfilled blocks of time because everybody has some. This is the exact same schedule that you saw on the page before, but this is blown up. So you will see that here on Monday and Tuesday, I have big chunks. I have 3-hour chunks of time in the afternoon that I can fit things in. Also, after I have time with Jordan and after I have time with my boys, I have time to do things. You will notice, I'm going to come back to spring. You will notice there is nothing up here for me at all because I am a night owl and I will not start my day before 10 o'clock unless like my mom has a doctor's appointment. So keep that in mind when you are setting your schedule. So I will use this time here in the evenings. I rarely go to bed before midnight and I work really hard in the evenings on different and various things. So those are free chunks of time. I have on Saturday, I have a good chunk of time right here. So you need to look for your unfilled blocks of time. These could be on Saturday, time that's not accounted for. This could be time before you go to work if you're an early bird, okay? Or before your kids get up if you're an early bird. It could be time after work. It could be time after the kids go to bed if you're a night owl. So in these free blocks of time, we are going to create enough slots to make sure we fit everything in that we need to do weekly, monthly, seasonally, and annually. So let's take a look. This is the exact same schedule again. I just filled this in for all of us so that we could see it. You'll see here, my weekly chores, I've got 3 hours right there and another hour and a half after I have time with my son in the evening. And if I go back to my weekly chore sheet, I needed 4.5 hours. On Monday, I can knock off a lot of my weekly chores. I can knock off all of my weekly chores. So on Tuesday afternoon, I'm going to get done my monthly chores. There's 3 hours right there, and my monthly chores are going to require about 3 hours. So I'm going to be able to knock those off on a Tuesday afternoon. And then I go to some of my seasonal things right here on Tuesday evening after I have time with Ethan. And then I go to my annual. Here's some annual projects on Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening. And then I left myself some time for projects on Saturday. So we're going to fill this in with a category, not the individual to-dos that we have. This gives us a basis for how we can work our weeks. Now, I want to give you some tips and cautions, okay? And then I'm going to show you my actual calendar for a week so you can see how all of that fit in. But first, you should still plan your week each and every week. I know you've got a generic calendar. If you work through the steps, you're going to have a generic calendar. But take a look at this. Here is, I filled this out for this week. Okay, so church, yep, not yet, Jordan, yep. I like to do my weekly planning oftentimes on Sunday evenings because that way it's all ready for the entire week. And so if I want to plan out what I'm doing during my business hours on Monday or other times, it's already there. But then here, so this week, because I have some other things, like my daughter had a party. She works at Chick-fil-A, and they had a you all do Atta Girls. It was kind of like an Atta Girl party, and we had that yesterday. So I had to move things around. So my monthly stuff got moved to here. Nathan is still there where he was supposed to be. I met with Julie, like she said, and we did a practice session on Monday afternoon, or Monday evening. That was important to me. I wanted to make sure that we fit that in. And then in the evenings, so I am currently working on a fiction book as well with a writing partner. So I carved out time every single night to work on that fiction book. Here I get adjusted. That was my weekly adjustment. Well, it's not always weekly, but that was my adjustment this week. So I didn't have anything else because I wanted to leave time for this. But then going over here, I didn't do our ladies book study this month. So I put my monthly chores in here. So I make sure that I get them all in. And you will also notice here, so I've got monthly chores in red, and then under it, I have things in black. That is where I put in what I plan to get done in that time slot. So that way I have a general idea in my head. I did the same thing over here for business time and business time. There were certain things I wanted to get done. And that's where I put my to-dos in, but I make sure I'm doing it within the individual blocks that we had set forth. The grocery shopping with my mom and my father-in-law. We always go over to my mom's house for pizza and movie after grocery shopping. But then, so I had to move some other things around. So I have some business stuff that's going to be taking place on Saturday. And I have some of my weekly chores I decided to move to Saturday, and seasonal chores and annual chores over here before we have family night. So even though I had that generic weekly schedule, this week I had other things that were thrown into the middle of it. I had Jordan's party. I had my practice for this presentation. So things get thrown in. So you still need to plan out your weekly schedule. Tip and caution number 2. These documents will always be changing. I know I said that earlier, but that's okay. Make sure that you give yourself leeway. If you feel like you're not doing enough, add one thing in and see if that's too much. And if it is, take it back out. If you feel like you're not doing enough and you add in a couple of things and you're like, this is really good for me, then leave those in. But let these things change and don't hold yourself to them. Next caution, always hold your plans loosely. And there is a reason for that. When like, for example, when my oldest daughter gets home from work, oftentimes she wants to take some time afterwards to just kind of talk about what happened. And if I am not doing something that needs to be handled right away, I take that time with her, and I will tell you that time is so precious to me. It shows me that she trusts me and she values me, and that she cares about what my opinion of these things is, or she wants me to help brainstorm problems with her. So I always have to hold my plans loosely, because there could be that, or it could be that my son needs help with math at a time that I didn't have it scheduled. And that's okay. So hold these loosely and do not get yourself frustrated because something got into your schedule that you weren't planning. All right, next one is don't overfill your schedule. It can be so tempting to look at your schedule and say, oh, I've got all this free time. I'm going to fill it in with everything. But if we go back and we look at my week, I still had a couple hours free time here. I had about an hour and a half of free time here. I had a couple hours of free time here. And here there's a couple hours that aren't planned for. And here there's a couple hours that aren't planned for. Don't overfill your schedule, because if you do, you're going to burn yourself out. So make sure that you are taking time, that you aren't filling it so completely full that you have time to do those things that you need to do. And then lastly, learn to delegate. You and I will never, ever have enough time to do everything on our homestead ourselves if we have family and or an outside job. Right now, I am at the season of life where my children run my house. I simply make sure that the things get done. My oldest daughter, who's 20 years old, plans the menu, creates the grocery list, and many nights she makes dinner. she plants and tends the garden. Those are her things that she does. My youngest daughter, 17, cleans our bathrooms. Sometimes she helps with the laundry, but she is going to be our big chicken person. She'll do all of the daily chores for the chickens when we have that. My middle son, who is 16, is in charge of loading the dishwasher daily, and weekly he's in charge of sweeping and mopping all of the hardwood floors in the house. And then my youngest son, who's 11, takes care of the majority of our laundry and unloads our dishwasher. Yeah, unloads our dishwasher daily. And then on the weekends, he vacuums the rugs and the carpets. He takes out the trash and he puts toilet paper in each bathroom. Now, my youngest son, who has the least amount of school, has the most chores. My oldest, except for my oldest daughter, who, even though she's working part-time, she still has a good amount of chores. I make sure that everything is balanced so that no one person is overwhelmed by chores and work. Because I have plenty of chores that I do myself. You've seen my list. There's lots on there. But I've learned to delegate to my kids what I can. And that honestly has been a lifesaver as far as, because now I run a business and I'm helping with homeschooling and I'm taking care of my husband's a pastor. So I've got stuff with church and all of those responsibilities. I couldn't do it all if I did not have my kids here to help. So make sure that you are delegating. All right. As we close this portion of the time, I want to remind you, brainstorm your goals and chores. Divide your chore list up into your weekly, monthly, seasonal, and annual chores and projects. And then we're going to set up a generic week schedule. Identify your unfilled boxes and fill those empty blocks with a category, not a goal or a chore. Thank you all for letting me present to you tonight. I really thoroughly enjoyed myself. I'm really looking forward to the interacting part. I don't like the speaking as much as I enjoy the interaction. So I'm looking forward to that portion of this in a minute. If you want to find me, you can find me at areyoupreparedmama.com. I have my works are A Year Without the Grocery Store, A Year Without the Grocery Store's companion workbook, and the Prepper Planner. And I know that they have links to drop into the chat for those, for each of those books, if you are interested in. And then I was wrong. I wrote this up and then I met with, so I have a writing coach and we met today. And after working through it, he's like, nope, April 11th. So Preparedness Without Limits will be coming around April 11th. And Are You Prepared When You're Not at Home, Mama will probably be about 2 months after that. But those are coming. Keep your eyes and ears open. And then every year, the plan is to have another Prepper Planner out for you as well. So, and there's a lot of things in that. If you want to know what's in the Prepper Planner, ask me questions about that in the Q&A. I've got a copy with me. I can show you what all's there. And we're giving away a couple of those tonight. So I am going to exit my presentation and we're going to, all right. So
great job, Karen. Such a great job. Can you see the Q&A
you.
or do you need me to read them off for you?
And let me get back there. I know I'm still sharing my screen.
I'm going to share a couple of things while you're looking. So go ahead and look. I see that we have some people that are just now getting on or things have happened. No big deal. Number one, we still have 2 things to give away. So don't leave yet. You may win one of Karen's amazing planners. So don't leave yet. If you can, I know life happens. No big deal. Second thing is that if I had some people become VIP members while they were on here, thank you guys so much. I cried because I am an emotional person. So thank you all very, very much. You all are awesome. Number 2, all of our presentations, just like this, like Karen's presentation, what we finish up, they're all available on our YouTube. Now, this specific recording will only be available for VIP members starting next Wednesday. If you are not a VIP member, no big deal. It will be on our website the first Wednesday of March, which happens to be March 1st because it's February 1st, March 1st. That's how life works. So if you're looking for it, don't worry. That's where it's at. All right, Karen, did you find your Q&As for me?
I did, yes.
Perfect.
So first question from Sheila Birch. It is, she says, I don't work outside the home, but I volunteer almost every day of the week, every week, all year, library, home bureau, etc. Would I consider that my job, big rocks, when making out my schedule? Absolutely. Absolutely. If you have a specific time that you do those different things each week, put those in there. That is what you need to make sure that you are prioritizing. Also from Sheila, what about cooking? Sometimes it takes 30 minutes, and I sometimes want an hour plus. You need to plan that in. What I do, or what I should say, what I did before my daughter took it over is every Thursday I would go through and I'd create a menu for the next week. And then when I create that menu, then like if I'm going to sit down and do my planning on Sunday night, I'll look at the different meals that I would be making and say, okay, how much time do those take? Or it might be the type of thing where, because I don't like cooking, I do a lot of crock pot meals. And so I'll make those first thing in the morning. And so you can schedule in the time that you need to make your meal in your weekly schedule. So that's how I would handle that. That's one of your big rocks. Your family needs to eat. And if you're the one who makes all of the meals, then yes, you need to put that in as well and plan that time. But it helps if you have your menu done ahead of time so you know what you're going to be doing. And then Bonnie asked, what do you do when the weather doesn't allow you to do a scheduled outdoor task? I swap. So if I'm supposed to be outside in the garden and it is pouring down rain, I'll say, okay, so which one of my annual chores that's for this season can I work on now? And then I'll try to swap that out with something else. And if you just get rain for a solid week when you're supposed to be working outside, then you say, okay, that was how it was meant to be, and I'm going to find something else productive to stick in those hours, or I'm going to rest. Because I think we don't do enough resting. I feel like, especially when we are on the homestead, there is always something to do. And my daughter keeps telling me, Mom, I feel lazy when I'm not working. And I'm like, your body needs rest. So maybe that's just, God's way of saying, take some time for yourself, take some downtime, enjoy yourself. So I swapped things out. That's why it's so cool to have that schedule, because I can say, okay, that didn't work out there, I'm going to move it over here. And that's one of the reasons too why I leave those free blocks that I showed you guys, is because then I can say, okay, I couldn't do this here, I'm going to rest here, and then I'm going to move this over here to one of those other free blocks. Does that answer your question, Bonnie? If not, let me know and I will hit it again. Okay, so how do I fit chores on the weekly schedule? That, Kim, I think I just answered that question. So yeah, and what do you do when you're scheduled to work with your spouse's schedule? Okay, so the wonderful thing is right now, my husband, because he is a pastor and our church is only about 10 minutes from our home, we can work around each other for the most part. Like tonight, he took the kids to youth group instead of me taking the kids to youth group because, one, we swap off, and two, I had this. And so there is a little bit of give and take with our schedules, which is really nice. So as far as for you and your spouse, like, I just wouldn't, this is your, this right here, this is your planner, this is your schedule. If my husband needs to do something and I need to make a note of that, I actually use a different color on my planner and I will put him in. He has his own color. And so I will put him in there if I need to work around something that he's doing. Like if he needs the office for, he does some virtual meetings. If he needs the office, because we share an office for the virtual meetings, then I will plan to be out of the office and I will block that time and I'll go and work in one of the other rooms or do something else. So we really don't have an issue as far as that goes. Now, if you're sharing vehicles, then just plan that time in. If you need to take him to work because you need to go do stuff, then on your schedule, just say driving hubby to work or picking hubby up from work and put that in there like that. Does that kind of answer your question, or did I not quite understand that? I'm going to assume, unless I hear differently, that the question's answered.
Jill can pop up and tell us. Let's see. Okay. Oh, Tanya has another one. So there's a new one for you.
Awesome. Mom of 6, ages 9 through 30, and grandma. What about last minute calls to babysit or friends that I need and I already have a medium rock block of time? This is what keeps me from not making a schedule. Okay. So again, what I would tell you is that if you're leaving those gaps in your schedule, then you're going to be able to say, okay, I can move this to another location and I will do this right now. for me, unless there's literally like I've promised to go lead a ladies group, or it's church, or um, really that those are my only ones that I cannot move. There are times when it just my mom will say, "Hey, Karen, I need this and I need this now," and I am my mom's primary caretaker during the day or during the week. My sister kind of takes over on weekends. But if my mom needs something, if she needs to go to prompt care, or if she has a doctor's appointment, anything like that, then you know what? She trumps whatever it is. And I just say, okay. I used to be really, really uptight with my schedule when I was younger. I want to really encourage you all that if you tend to be that way, because I was talking with my daughter, she's like, Mom, I think I would get angry if I wasn't able to get everything in the time slot that I'm supposed to. So what I would say in a situation like that is say, okay, you need to distribute your to-dos, like just put them at the bottom of every day and say, okay, today, this is my goal, is to get these things done. And I see these blocks of time that I might be able to. And I'm going to, as I have time, I'm just going to cross them off my list. But you do need to make sure that you're still planning your big blocks that are absolutely non-negotiable. And underneath, at the very bottom of your planner for that day, just write down the things that you're hoping to get done, that you are working toward. And that way it takes the pressure off of, oh my goodness, my monthly chores didn't fit into my 2.5 hours. And it was because my kids were throwing temper tantrums and I had to deal with I had to deal with a black eye because one kid slugged another, or whatever it is. That's okay. Take a deep breath. It's going to happen. That's one of the great things about scheduling these things out over a longer term period of time. So like, especially for seasonal and annual, you have 13 weeks. If something happens one week, there's a little bit of give in that, and that's okay. That's why I said hold it loosely. You have to hold it loosely and don't get uptight about it. Awesome. Glad that helped, Tanya. Any other questions?
So the only thing I see, Cynthia's in Oklahoma, I'm 99% sure, and if she's not, she can email me. But she says, I have a home bakery and I struggle to schedule because it takes so much of my days and weeks. I feel lost on where to start. She's got a 15-month-old at home and a 14-year-old in school. So do you have any advice on maybe a kicking off point for her?
So what I would say with something like that is, having a 15-month-old, I understand the challenges there. There are going to be times when they need you and you just can't do what you had planned to do. You still need to have those big rocks in place. Now, if the big rocks aren't happening because of your 15-month-old, that's when having that partner helps. And when your husband gets home from work, handing him the baby and saying, okay, I did the important thing today, which was take care of my child. He is very fussy, or she is very fussy. I'm having issues. Could you please take the baby while I get these things done? I have these orders that I have to fill. And so even this week, I have my next 2 books are back from my editor. And I promised her, I said, okay, after I have this presentation tonight, I will get these back to you on Monday. That's what I will spend my Thursday, Friday, Saturday doing. I will get these 2 books. I have to go through and approve or deny the edits that they have suggested. And, I told my husband, I said, okay, but I have all afternoon tomorrow. I have a phone call tomorrow afternoon, and then tomorrow evening I have with my mom from about 4:30 until 10. And then Friday, I take my mom and my father-in-law grocery shopping. And then from there, I take my kids over to my parents' house, and we have a movie and we eat pizza. And then from there, I have to take my son to work. And so I was like, I've got all this stuff. And then on Saturday, I have some stuff too. And he said, Karen, if you need to, I will take everything. I will drop everything, Saturday afternoon, whatever time you have free, you can go, you can work, you will not be disturbed. So, even when I have stuff like that, like I have to get these edits done, I promised, and it's a big rock, I promised my editor I would have them back to her by Monday. So my partner comes in and says, okay, I'm going to help you with this. And so that's my biggest my biggest advice is to really tag team where you can. Remembering, again, most important thing is our family. And then after that, we have our non-negotiable responsibilities. And for me, this is a non-negotiable responsibility with these edits. For you, getting that baking done is a non-negotiable responsibility. So use your partners, or even your 14-year-old, I'm sure can help out when he or she gets home from school, unless there's a weird situation there or if they're working or things like that. But use the people and the resources that you have at your disposal to do these things. And then I try to, like, when we found out that my kids were going to be doing all of the babysitting for the ladies group, because it used to be two families had kids that would help and come babysit for the 2 hours that we had the ladies study, or the 3 hours that we had the ladies study. And so I would start giving my kids thank you gifts. I know you went over and above duty. I want to give this to you. Thank you so much for what you did today. I want you to know it doesn't go unappreciated, and it was seen. Thank you. So I try to balance that and asking something that you normally wouldn't do with, I really appreciate it, and I want to show you my appreciation. So that would be my best advice when it comes to something like that.
That is awesome. Let's see, what else we got? Kimberly.
Okay. I enjoyed the focus on things and the way you laid them out. I am brand new to Tennessee and homesteading, been here for 6 months. Where to start with it all? Okay, I get you. We bought this farm 2 years ago this month. Matter of fact, 2 years ago today, February 1st, we bought this farm that we're on. It's 5 acres. And it's, you know what? I didn't realize how overwhelming it was absolutely going to be. Now, we didn't move in until May because we gutted the main part of the house and had a lot of work to do with it. But it feels overwhelming. Start with one thing. Please just start with one thing, or you're going to feel overwhelmed. If you want, the easiest thing to do is to say, okay, I know in Tennessee they have a nicer climate. I have some really good friends in Tennessee. She said she already has some crocuses pushing up in Tennessee. So you could probably start with an herb garden. All right, find a place that you want to put your herb garden and decide what herbs you want to put in it and design your herb garden and start with just that. And if you feel like you've got your herb garden going well and you want to take on another project, then say, okay, what is the next project that I want to take on? And just do one thing at a time. And it will fit in your schedule. So just plan your schedule and put your projects in there. It really will happen for you. And as you learn more of your annual things, like I wouldn't have even thought about pruning the trees, or doing an organic spray, or pesticide-free spray to keep the bugs. Or we have some cedar rust on some of our apple trees. I wouldn't have thought about doing those things until I moved in. And so those things, as we go along, find their way onto my list because I'm learning more and more about what I need to husband this property properly. Say that 10 times fast. Property properly. So just take that one step at a time and just, what is the next thing? And that's my next project where I have time slot allotted for my projects. So that's how I would handle it. Decide where your priorities are. Are your priorities food production? Then, start with your herb garden because that will flavor food and will provide medicinals for you. And you're going to be able to do that sooner than you will a garden, even in Tennessee. And then if you want to say, okay, I want to do a garden and create a plan. When we sat down and did this garden last year, let me see, I'm going to pull out my folder and see if I still have last year's garden plan around in here. I might not, and it might be in a totally different folder. But I literally sat down and drew out what our garden was going to look like. And we created a plan. Yeah, it's not in here. We created a plan for our garden and we spent time. Okay, what are the steps we have to take? First, we're going to stake it out. Then we're going to till it. Then we're going to go ahead and mark out our beds. And then we're going to go ahead and put plastic down in the walkways so that because we tried to do a garden the year before and literally we mowed it over because we didn't have plastic around the edges. And the grass literally just took the whole thing over. So this was the second iteration. So when I say that I have a brown thumb, I really, really do. But just one step at a time. So that would be my best suggestion on that. Any other questions? Because I know Julie's going to pop back up.
I'm always here.
Yay!
I see Kristen Barron. I see that you have your hand up. Sometimes that just happens. If you've got a question, go ahead and put it in the chat because I'm gonna lower your hand. Not that I don't love your hand being up. It's just like this. And I'm like, do you have something? So anyway, I think that was so awesome. I hope you guys had such a great time. So Karen, shall we give some things away? I think we shall.
Absolutely. Yes.
Let's do it. Oh, maybe we shall. Let's find my correct website.
Can I show everybody a couple of things in this prepper planner to look forward to?
Absolutely.
Okay. So one of the big things that was important to me in the prepper planner was that it is feminine. So it is feminine and it is pretty. Every month starts with a 2-page spread of really pretty pictures. Feminine. Even the design, just so feminine. It always has a quote. January is New Year's Day, a fresh start, a new chapter waiting to be written. And that was by Sarah Van Vranoch. So, but everything in here is really, really pretty. Every single month, as she's giving these away, every single month, we have, I love this. It's a to learn, a to do, and to buy. And this will allow you, so even if you don't have money, you can learn something new every month. I give you something to do and then something to buy to move your preparedness forward. And every single month, I have a section at the bottom that says in the garden and on the homestead. So awesome. That's really so helpful. And it's broken down by zones. So in late January, depending on, well, you're not going to be doing much gardening in late January unless you live in Southern Florida. Right. But it's broken down by zones and tells you what to do. Every week has something really, really cool. So besides the 2-page spread that you guys are getting in your handout, I also have, it's a weekly reflection. It says memories created, goals accomplished, things that happened last week for which I am grateful, last week's struggles, and then there's another section on how I overcame them. And then goals carried over to this week. And then I have, basically, this is your weekly to-do list. What are the things that you need to get done every week? And I have it broken down into personal, professional, preparedness, and other. So you have that every single week that helps you set your week up. And then the last cool thing I'll tell you about, because I know that we want to give these planners away, is every single month I have a food storage recipe. Because I think Cindy said that you guys had done my book at one point for the book club. But this month is potato corn chowder. And what I do is I tell you all the ingredients you need to make it. And then if you follow what I recommend in my book, I tell you that if you are trying to get your preparedness pantry set up, that you want to create a menu. And so I give you, if you want to be prepared for 1 month's worth of food, I tell you how much you need to make this recipe 4 times or 1 month's worth. And then I tell you how much you need to make it 8 times or 2 months worth, or how much you need to make it 12 times or 3 months worth. So this can be one of the recipes that you would use on your preparedness menu. So those are just some of the features that you find in the prepper planner, and there's more, but I won't go into all of them right now.
There's so many. Like, it's just, I'm so excited that you're like, yes, let's give away 2. I was like, yeah, let's give away 2 because I love mine. And we've dropped the link in the chat. I know we're going to run through both of these. But there's a link in the chat if you want to buy it. But wait, let's see if you win one. Don't go buy it yet. And then you can buy it if you don't win it, right? So here we go.
Absolutely.
Spin. Happy wheel spin. Dun, 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 dun. I have to take a picture. Yay, Jessie, congratulations. And not that I don't love you, Jessie, but you won one. You can't win another, so I'm going to remove you. Okay, let's do one more. Here we go. Spin, wheel, spin. Sherry, yay! Congratulations. All right. You guys, congratulations. If you didn't win, number one, we still love you and we're so glad you're here. Number two, check out the links. Go buy it from Karen. She's awesome. We are so appreciative of you coming tonight. If you are a VIP that attended tonight, number one, thank you. Number two, if you became a VIP, you're awesome. I will have your giveaway for everyone that attended tonight. You get a $5 off coupon code to use at our NLHD shop, and I will give that away at the beginning of next month. You guys were phenomenal. Karen, thank you so much. I know I threw a lot at everyone tonight. You guys were phenomenal. You did so well. And Karen, I just can't thank you enough. You did such a great job.